Today's October 21st, 2011. This is your Chapter 3 assignment. Okay? So, I've drawn a portrait of Owen on the graph here.
Why is Owen?
Now, what I want you guys to do, you guys are to create a picture. Okay? You're going to create a picture of anything you like. It's really up to you. Make sure it's appropriate. And what it's going to be, this is called painting by equations. Okay? Yeah. Yes, you do. So I want you to actually draw or graph the actual picture you're creating. But along with that, you guys are going to need to you need to write out the equations of all of the lines or quadratics that you've used. So if you quickly take a look here, I used 2 quadratics for this guy's head. And then I used another one for his smile. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I used 17. What did I miss?
17.
No, the arm is one straight one. Okay, I used 17 equations to create this picture. So, if you guys want to use strictly quadratics, say you want to do a design instead of a portrait, so maybe you do something like this, up and down, quadratics, okay? You can find the equations of them. It's completely up to you. But for the picture we have right now, you can make a design. Okay. So if you guys remember our equations for quadratics, y is equal to a x minus h squared plus k. Or you guys can use what we've just gone over, our factor form, y a x minus r minus s. Okay, so you can use x-intercepts to write them out. But if you guys look at this quadratic, first of all, I'm going to find the equation for this one right here, let's say. So the bottom half of his head. Our vertex is at the coordinate of 1, 2, 3, 4.5, and 5. So this coordinate here, negative 4.5 and 5. You can, okay. So we look at our 2 points there, negative 4.5 and 5. Those are going to be my h and k when I go to solve this, right? Here's our x and our y. Remember when we go to write these, we have y is equal to, we don't know what a is, x minus, our h is what? It's going to refer to which value? X or y? X, and it's going to be what? Plus or minus? It's going to be the opposite. So because we have negative 4.5, you're going to be putting in plus 4.5 squared plus, what is our k? 5. So we're going to put the number 5 in for our k. Okay? Now, we still need to find what our a is. So that means you need to find another point on this parabola we've drawn. So let's say here's another point along it. This point's at negative 2 and 7. Any point along that parabola. So negative 2 and 7. That's my x. 7. I'm definitely right. So I take my x and my y for that. So one of the points was, we'll call it point A. Well, actually, no. I don't want to confuse you. Call it point Z. Yes, Z. It was at negative 2 and 8. That's my x and my y. So I plug 8 in for y. And we have a x plus, and our x value will be what? Negative 2 plus 4.5 squared plus 5. Now I have to isolate for a, so I solve it. 8 equals a. What's negative 2 plus 4.5? 2.5. Close. 6. Oh, no, you're right on. Sorry. Plus 5. We're going to square that number. So we get 2.5 squared, 6.25. You're awesome, Troy. Yeah, it's Troy. 6.25. Okay. I got to move the 5 to the other side of the equation. So we get 8 minus 5 equals A times 6.25. We get 3 equals A times 6.25. And then to move the 6.25, we have to divide both sides. Why minus 5? Because we had a plus 5 there. So these cancel out. Our A is going to be equal to 3 divided by 6.25. No, be positive. So the equation of that line, we'll write it in black. The equation of that line was y equals 0.48 x plus 4.5 squared plus 5. Okay, so that's all the information we found out. So that was one of the equations. That's one of the graphs I used. Okay, you guys, I'm going to give you a requirement. And we're going to talk about it right now.
That was just the chin?
That was just the chin.
Are you recording this?
Yeah. Domain and range. Because we're using shapes that end. So for instance, we were still using the jaw of this guy's face. Okay? If you guys notice, on the x values, he went from -6 all the way over to -2. So I need to conclude our domain. The domain of this equation is x is every real number between -6 and -2. I want you to write it in function notation. Same with the range of that function. Its y lowest value was 5 and the highest value was 7. So the exact same idea. The range of that function is y is every real number between 5 and 7. So each of your equations needs to include the equation and your domain and range, so that if someone was given your equation page, they would be able to create the picture on a graph. So one page has the picture, just like what we have up here. This will be one page submitted, whatever you draw. The other page will be strictly equations written like this. You just set them up. Equation 1, all the domain and range included. Then equation 2, all the domain and range included. 2 separate pages. Do you guys have any questions?